about.
BInfluenced live. Again, we are in our new studio. We're still working out some of the kinks. Our engineers back there working on our intro. So, we were just sitting here like the queens we are, waiting patiently. But we are here. Our sisters couldn't be with us tonight. So, Lady Precious, she is suffering from a sinus infection. It's that time of year, especially in Atlanta, with all this pollen. Everybody is suffering from some type of sinus infection or allergies and all of that. Everything out here is green.
I'm so grateful that I don't have allergy problems. I am grateful that that does not affect me.
Yeah, neither do I. And then, you know what? And that falls right into our topic for this evening.
It does.
It falls right into our topic because we're going to be talking about holistic lifestyles, and not holistic HOLIST. IT, but holistic, WHOLISTIC. Okay, because where I come from, we call it holistic because it's not just about, people think holistic with the H and they think, oh, well, I eat pretty good and everything. No, we talk about holistic, WH. We're talking about your whole being, your spirituality, your body, what you eat, your mind, all of that is your being. That is a holistic lifestyle. You have to balance it all together. And our sister Annanake, she's been with us every Thursday that we've been on air, but she's a little under the weather as well. So she won't be with us this evening, but she will definitely be back with us next Thursday. So we look forward to that.
I wonder what holistic methods Annanake is taking to get rid of her cold.
That would be interesting. We didn't even want to hold her on the phone because we wanted her to get her rest and get herself together. And yes, she has a whole process that she goes through. I bet. So,
because I do a lot. The moment I feel a cold, I'm like, ginger, lime, lemons, where are you? And yes. I eat it like it's no tomorrow.
Well, my children, oh my God, they couldn't stand me because I would make them this brew that had turmeric and garlic and onions and honey and
sounds nasty, but I bet it was.
It was disgusting. And I would give that to them and I'm like, drink it. And they're like, this is disgusting. And I'm telling you, one day my youngest daughter, it was her senior year, and she felt so bad. She called me from school, she was crying. She felt horrible. She had a fever, she had the shakes, and she had to drive herself home. And the nurse didn't want to let her leave. So she was like, Mom, I'm just leaving. I can't stay. And I said, okay, by the time you get home, I'm going to have everything ready for you. I made her the disgusting concoction that she couldn't stand. Then I made her ginger tea and her honey, lemon. I'm trying to think what else was in ginger tea. But I had her drinking the tea. And then I kept putting her in steam baths. And, when you're sick like that, you can't stay awake. So she just could not stay awake. She'd go to sleep. And I go in there every 2 hours and wake her up, make her drink, put her back in the tub. That was on a Friday. That Saturday morning, I'm sitting in the living room. She comes running down, dressed. Mom, I'm on my way to the football game. Thank you so much. That disgusting stuff made me feel so much better. She was gone. She was gone. So
those natural remedies work better than anything else.
Absolutely.
Works so much better.
Because we have to understand what the Creator put here for us that is natural, that comes from the earth, all has a purpose. And that we're supposed to use those things to heal our body, to heal us spiritually in all aspects. These pharmaceutical companies, they are only taking parts of that and then they're making a synthetic part of it. And that's what they feed into us. And it's causing more harm than it's causing good. Yeah. So that's one of the reasons, and most of us know why there were issues with Dr. Sebi and why there were issues with a lot of the holistic doctors in Florida that actually came up missing or dead at one period. There was a there was a period where there were a lot of holistic practitioners found dead, specifically in Florida.
They're going against everything the CDC stands for.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, if you can heal your body by using natural remedies, things that come from the earth, then what is big pharma? What do you need big pharma for? And that's $1 billion industry.
Exactly. And then you're talking about hospitals, and then you're talking about doctors. And hospitals, when you're talking about a multi-million-dollar industry from hospitals, having worked in the medical field, when you go to your doctor, the majority of the time you're an experiment. You're part of the experiment.
Oh, yeah.
Because these pharmaceutical companies come in, they bring these fabulous lunches for the doctors. They sit down and say, this is our new product. Give this to your patient and let us know how it goes. Yeah. So,
But that's why doctors, people don't realize doctors and lawyers are two people, they get paid the most, but they are two occupations where you are practicing. So you practice medicine and you practice law. So you don't really know what can work. Whereas though, I know for a fact that ginger works to cure colds. I know for a fact that lime and lemons can take away a sore throat. These are things that we know. But when they're using these different medicines and different pills and stuff, those are things that they are practicing. Just like you said, it's research. It's they're using you as an experiment.
Right. They're practicing on you to see if this works. And if it works, then they'll try it again. And then you find out 20 years later, you have some new illness or some new side effect.
Or there'll be a commercial. If you took such and such during the period of 1994, and it's if you took that, please contact us because come on, man, it's ridiculous. It's sad. It's really sad, and it's sad that our people are more. It's almost like a mind control. It's a form of slavery. Even if we don't want to admit it, believing somebody's practices before you believe your own, and we're intuitive creatures. We know you can kind of listen to your body and know what you need to do to heal your body. So for you to be able to listen to someone else before you even trust your mind and your body is just almost a form of slavery.
My thing
your mind is enslaved. It's a mental slavery.
How can you say you believe in God, but you will not use what He gave you to heal yourself?
You'll trust a perfect stranger. I have people, me and my sister almost got into it the other day because she's one of those people who me and her talk about Dr. Sebi all the time. We talk about his different approaches to healing the body and stuff. And she's one of the few people in my life who knows the power of natural remedies, but yet she refuses to do. So she's almost one of those people who don't practice what she preaches. So she called me the other day. She's like, I need you to tell me. She's like, I really need your help with my mom because her mom is suffering from different ailments. She's like, she's really starting to get on my nerves because I'm telling her she needs to do this. She needs to stop drinking and she needs to eat better and blah, blah, blah. But then my sister is also suffering from a hernia. She has a hernia. And so one of my friends told me that because I also have this tumor in my arm. I don't know if I ever told you about that, but we can get into that later. But one of my friends told me about using castor oil and how he used castor oil for a hernia and just applied it on there and just left it on there and put a warm compress over top of it. And then eventually the hernia just kind of went away. And so I'm telling my sister this, and instead of her being consistent with it, see, the thing about Western medicine, the thing about big pharma is it's a quick fix.
Exactly.
And so when you are trying holistic methods and you think, oh, this is not working because you tried it for a few days, you tried it for 3 or 4 days, and the next thing you know, you feel like it's not working. Well, you haven't given nature just like it takes 4 months for the seasons to change. You have to give your body time to adapt to these holistic methods. You can't just rush to the quick fix. And so my sister's like, no, I just need to get surgery because this pressure need to go away. And I'm like, but you haven't even given your body a chance to try to heal itself by using holistic methods. You haven't even used that warm compress for a month. She was like, well, I don't have a month. but you're actually waiting a month for the doctor to schedule you an appointment to get surgery. So why don't you use that month to use something? So we almost really got into it because I'm like, girl, you don't even be practicing what you're preaching. Like, you called me the other day mad about your mom not listening to you, but I'm sitting here telling you a holistic method that you can use to get that hernia gone, and you ain't even trying to hear it. So,
and I don't even want to talk about hernia because I've had hernia surgery twice. The second time I had multiple tears. Now my tears came from I had vertical and horizontal tears. My tears came from when I used to work out. When I used to work out and from pregnancy. And it just kind of really thinned the lining of my stomach. And to the point it just ripped. So I'm walking around with this mesh in my stomach. And I know you've seen me before when I'm always scratching right here because it itches right here from where I had surgery, which is where the mesh is at. So I really don't know what's going on. Those commercials are out there for that mesh, but the mesh is usually for the, it's not for hernia repair. It's for something else that they advertise the mesh for. But my thing is, there are so many other doctors out there. Dr. Sebi was excellent in what he does. I mean, phenomenal. Like I spoke about yesterday, I go back in the 90s before he was really a big name, and everybody was really talking about him. But you have Dr. Jewel Pookrum. She is awesome. She is phenomenal. Listen to Dr. Jewel Pookrum from some of her lectures from back in the 90s where she talks about natural regeneration, that there are tribes, and
hopefully we can find some readings or articles that we can post.
You can actually find a lot of videos, and I am going to post some of her videos on there. You have Dr. Ben, you have Dick Gregory, you have
Dick Gregory will be quick to say. I watched so many interviews that Dick Gregory had, and the thing that he stands by is fasting. So it's like fasting. He's all about fasting. Any ailment that your body is suffering from, if you fast, you can get that mucus moving and get it out of your body.
You want to get the mucus out your body. The mucus is your enemy. That's the biggest enemy of your body. It is in there to violate your system because it feeds off of the elements, and it grows and it grows, and that's what causes us to be sick. Because every illness that you have contains mucus. That's your biggest enemy.
And there's almost mucus, and you can develop mucus in your body from whether it be sugars, whether it be dairy products.
Dairy products, they really feed and form the mucus. That's why one of the things you want to, and I'm guilty of that because I love cheese. But
I know that keeps me from being a holistic vegan.
I can balance.
Keeps me from that category.
I can balance my diet with my cheeses. But you definitely, we want to remove the cheeses. So, when you say it takes a certain period of time, like the season, we have these quick diets. Mm-hmm. People, they gain the weight over years. And I'll never forget something that my sister-in-law told me at one point when we were in our 30-ish, 40-ish age range. And she was like, I did not realize I had gained so much weight. She said, but compared to my girlfriends, I was still the smallest in the crowd. So it didn't appear, she didn't feel like she had gained so much weight because she was still the smallest one. Everyone was getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Over time, because
mucus
attacks you over time.
Well, this was weight. This was weight. Yeah, this was with weight. So the thing about it, when I was studying Islam, childbirth, it takes 9 months for a baby to develop. They give you 6 weeks maternity, 6 or 8 weeks maternity leave. Your body has to go through the same process that it went through to develop. So when you're gaining weight and we want these quick fixes to lose weight, you're damaging your organs more. because your body has been over years, say over, let's do something minimal, over 5 years, you gained maybe 30 pounds. Now you want to lose 30 pounds in 3 weeks.
Right.
Your body, your bones, your muscles, your organs have all gotten adjusted to carrying this weight, to supply whatever it needs to supply to this weight. And now you're snatching it away. Your body is not going to adjust in 3 weeks. It needs to take that same process slowly to settle itself down back to 30 less pounds.
Right.
You know, and that's one of the things that we don't realize how much damage we're doing to our internal self when we do those.
When we try to do quick fixes.
Exactly. But it amazes me when I hear people say, "I don't like water." How do you not like water?
Your body is made
water.
of 70% water. How do you not
How
like
do you
water?
not
Do
like
you not
water?
like yourself?
Right.
So
How do
you
not
don't
like
love
water?
yourself is what you're telling me. When you say you don't like water, I'm thinking you don't love you. Okay.
I like that analogy. Yes, we're 70% water, and he said, "I don't like the taste of water. Water doesn't have a taste. But if you want to supplement it, put some lemon, put some lime in it, you know, and you can give it some flavor. Or some ginger, yes.
You can create your own detox water or your own, waters with strawberry. Cut up some fruit and put some fruit in it, or
some mint
or whatever it is.
Yes,
you want.
can put some flavor in your water, and then you get a little more nutrients. Lemon is the best thing to put in your water in the morning. Drink some lemon water in the morning, and it's like an astringent for, I'll say, your insides, for lack of a better word, but it's like an astringent for your inside. The first thing you should do, after you rinse your mouth, drink some lemon water, and you will see how you will release more fluid because you're just washing.
It recharges you.
Right.
It does. It gives you a sense. It gives you charging. It charges you. But just like I was looking at, I forget this doctor's name, but I was listening to one doctor, and he was speaking about how people feel weak, or how people, you got to think about it like a light switch. You got to turn your body on. So when the light is off, you go to the wall and you turn the light on. Just like with your body, you have to, it's electrical. All of that is electrical. Just like with your body, the foods and stuff that you put inside of your body, you have to put electric foods in your body in order to turn your body on, in order to make your body go, to give you that energy. So first thing in the morning when you break and fast, your breakfast should always be electric foods.
Exactly. Honorable Elijah Muhammad was another person that I was going to speak on. Eat to Live. Excellent book to start with, because your foods give you life. If you are eating dead foods cannot give you life. You have to eat things that are living. So that's your fruits, that's your vegetables. They give you life. When you're eating dead carcass, you're eating dead food. It cannot nourish you the same way as if you're eating something that's living. Mm-hmm. So you eat to live.
And even when you are eating to live, I think it's also important to remember that you don't want to always cook your vegetables. Like sometimes it's in order to keep that same, I guess, electric current from going through your body, you want to take those nutrients and take them in. But if you're constantly cooking all of your meals and cooking your vegetables, then you're losing those necessary vitamins.
Right. You're losing the nourishment in it. Spinach, for instance. And us as Black folks, we cook our food all the way down. You don't want a vegetable that has a crunch to it unless it's corn. Okay? Okay. Because if those greens of any sort have any type of crunch to it, then it's raw. We don't want it.
Can't cook no greens.
She can't cook.
She can't cook no greens. Her greens still was crunchy. Like, well, actually,
that's how it's supposed to be. Now, spinach, for instance, we know spinach is filled with iron, and especially as females, we need an abundance of iron in our diet. Soon as you see that steam coming from that spinach, you are losing the iron. The iron, it burns off naturally. It just burns off. So the more you cook spinach, the more iron you're losing from that spinach. That's why it's just great to have a spinach salad.
Mm-hmm. And Queen Afua, I was reading her book when I was, okay, so back to, I'm not sure if I ever told you about this tumor that I have in my arm, but when I was living in Vegas last year, so it makes about a year now, in March, right around the time my birthday was coming, and it started off as like it almost looked like a mosquito bite, but it didn't itch, but it hurt. And so I was like rubbing it and trying to figure out what was going on, but then it started to grow a little bit, and I realized, okay, maybe a week went by, and I'm like, this is growing, and it's not going anywhere. So I went to the doctors, and of course, these are people who are practicing medicine, so they don't know what's really going on with your body.
Right.
And they're not asking the necessary questions. So they're like, oh, maybe it's a mosquito bite. Then another doctor was like, you know what? I think that's a scorpion bite on your arm. A scorpion, because I was in Vegas.
Have you been in Vegas?
Yeah, I was living in Vegas. So in their mind, I guess that was the first thing they jumped to. So we're going to give you this, this, and this. So they give me all these medicines, these Benadryls and these different things to kind of cure, I guess, if you have an allergic reaction. Well, this was not an allergic reaction. So, and in my heart, I knew that this wasn't what it was. So I didn't really take that. I'm not one for taking medicines anyway. So I'm like, you know what? If this is an allergic reaction, then it'll go away. Well, some weeks went by and it started to grow. At this point, my arm started to swell.
Wow.
My whole arm, by the time it was so this started like the beginning of March, and by the time it was my birthday at the end of March, my whole arm was, when I tell you it looked like it didn't, my arm was the size of my leg.
Wow.
Like it was red, my fingers were swollen. My arm looked like it was about to burst at any second. Like I was scared I couldn't lay, like when I went to sleep at night, it was so much pain. I never felt pain like that in my life. Like it was so much pain that I was crying. I couldn't even go to sleep at night. I didn't sleep for like 2 weeks. Like I would doze off, but then like the pain was just, it was unbearable. So I went back to the doctors. It was bothering me so much that I was sitting in the emergency room on my birthday. Like on my birthday night, I'm like, nah, this pain gotta go. Of course, they doing all these tests, they doing ultrasounds and all this kind of stuff. And they like, you know what? Well, we just really don't understand what it is. And they sent me away. So finally, I got an appointment with a primary doctor, who then gave me a referral to go get a, was it an MRI next? Yes, I went and got the MRI next. So when I got the MRI, they realized that it was actually a tumor. And so then they sent me to get a biopsy. This went on for a while because doctors, of course, they practicing and guessing. So this, over the course of 2 months, we finally realized, okay, it was a benign tumor. And still, they didn't have any answers for me. They just was like, well, we need to refer you to a doctor who specializes in this. So I started reading Queen Afua's book. And I had been had her book probably for like a year at this point, but I never really got into it. And so that, sometimes you can go through things that will lead to something brighter, lead to your enlightenment. So I finally opened her book, and she just had all these, she actually had a page in there that was dedicated to tumors. And the page was saying, basically, going back to holistic lifestyle, she was saying that it's more than just what you're eating. So of course I did change my eating habits. I went from eating meat, I was eating meat at the time, I stopped eating meat and I started juicing, and I started juicing with turmeric and cayenne pepper, and I would put those in my different vegetable drinks that I made, juices that I made. And in that chapter, or that page rather, she also had affirmations. So it wasn't just about what you're putting in your body, but it's what you also are speaking over your body and what you're thinking in your mind. And within like 2 weeks, the swelling went down. The tumor was still there, but the swelling went completely down. My fingers are back to normal. And this has nothing to do with medicine. All the doctors could do was give me Percocet. They were giving me Percocets, they was giving me naproxen and ibuprofens, and they were giving me anything they could think of just to get rid of the pain, but they weren't treating the problem. And so by me taking this holistic approach, by affirming that this tumor would go away, affirming that this would, I could heal myself. And then watching and paying attention to what I put in my body, the swelling went away and the tumor size decreased incredibly. Still to this day, doctors are still guessing, but I'm still giving my body the time it needs to, because I know that nothing happens overnight. So I'm still giving my body the time it needs to, you know, to cure itself. Like I'm doing certain things like I said, a friend told me that for his hernia, he used not black seed oil, castor oil. So I'm still making castor oil packs at night. And then I also ran into this other holistic doctor here in Georgia. Her name is Kelly Jeray. She's a beautiful soul, but she told me about using making a bentonite clay pack. So I also use bentonite clay, and I mix it with charcoal, and I create like a pack that I can put on my arm, and I leave it on there for a couple hours and then just take it off. And that draws out the toxins from the tumor, and that has also decreased the size of the tumor. And these are things that you can do on your own without a doctor, without Western medicine. Like, I am living proof that I wish I had pictures to show people. My arm looked like it was about to burst. Like, it looked like if you touch it, it would just pop. That's how swollen it was.
Wow. Well, when people, people come and ask me, especially when I was home before I came here, they feel this way, they feel that way, D, what should I do? What should I drink? What should I do? I don't really, when people have like medical diagnosis, because I don't want nobody coming back saying, well, D told me to do this, and, but to start out, because right now with everything with Nipsey Hussle and Dr. Sebi, everybody's running out buying their alkaline water. You really do not need to go run out and buy alkaline water, because if you you have alkaline water that's saying it's a 10, it's a 9, it's a 7, it's an 8. Okay, if you don't have alkaline strips and you're not testing that water,
you're paying a lot of money for no reason.
You're wasting your money.
Yeah.
This is really something that you can do at home, and you can start with tap water, and you can boil that water. Okay. You can start with boiling your tap water, and then you can get lemons, because lemons are citric acid, but once it digests in the body, the alkaline and it goes up to like a 7. If you take that lemon and you mix it with some baking soda that is alkaline, you have your alkaline water. Now the issue is it tastes disgusting, so you rather go out and get a Pepsi that's full of acid and sugar, or
you rather go to the store and pay a whole bunch of money for something that somebody is
for water that you can. This is something that you can really do at home. And I would say, these are the steps that you have to take. You have to take it slowly. Everybody is rushing right now. My tenant, he has gone out and bought all these raw vegetables and fruits, and he has this water sitting on top of the refrigerator with mint and lemon and everything, and it's been sitting there so long, and I'm like, okay. I mean, he's drinking it, but it's time to change your water. You know what I'm saying? So, when you do things fast, I know we get excited. When we get enlightened, we get excited and we want to go do it all, and then we burn ourselves out.
But it's a lifestyle.
Right, because it is a lifestyle. Because if you start with changing your eating lifestyle, if you're not incorporating everything else that goes along with it, you're not going to have this aha awakening moment the same way what you have in your head. Because you're going to think, oh my goodness, I'm going to feel like a god. I'm going to look like a god or a goddess. It's not going to happen like that. You do have to put the mental into it. You do have to put your spirituality, your thinking. And spirituality and thinking are two different things. You have to watch what you speak over yourself. Mm-hmm. All of these things are holistic with a W, lifestyle. It's not just one thing,
It's all about what you're listening to, the music that you're listening to, the people, when people are talking and other people are speaking, you can't let people speak certain things into your life.
Exactly. And we all deal with a lot of crystals. And that is energy as well. It draws certain energy. It gives you certain enlightenment and intuition. These are all things you want to incorporate into that holistic lifestyle. I am a holistic life coach. I chose to study to be a holistic life coach rather than a life coach, because not life coaches, because we need to be able to do critical thinking that deals with how we think and how we present ourselves and do things differently in our lives. But I'm more interested in bringing it full circle. Mm-hmm. We're talking the Trinity: mind, body, and spirit, bringing it all together as one. So some of the simple steps, because we are 70% water, we want to be able to stay hydrated. So it goes beyond buying your alkaline water and getting some lemons and some mint and some ginger. You can carry celery, which is 90% water. You can eat cucumbers, which is 90% water. And you can have watermelon. Now, watermelon, I'm sometimes on the fence with, especially if it's somebody who is diagnosed with diabetes because of the sugar. But those are 3 things that you can do to keep yourself hydrated in addition to drinking your water.
And you said something about sugar, which is very interesting too, because even when I went to see Ms. Kelly Jure about my tumor, she was telling me that I want to stick to green vegetables. So it's very good, while it's very good to always intake fruit is always so good for you, but sometimes when you're trying to cure things, you want to be conscious of the sugar that you're allowing in your body, and fruits have a lot of sugar. So you want to kind of stick to your greens to kind of get rid of when you're detoxing.
You do. You want to stick to your greens because you have to look at the nutrients. Okay? Again, when we go back to everybody getting the alkaline water right now and their lemons and their mint and their ginger, you're still not looking at the nutrients that your body needs.
We constantly grow just like plants, so we need that chlorophyll.
Exactly.
Photosynthesis. You need the sun.
Think about it this way. We grow from a seed. Mm-hmm. We are a seed. So you want to eat seed-based living things, which also takes me to, don't get excited when you get a seedless watermelon.
Please
don't get excited when you get some seedless.
I haven't even ate grapes in so long. Like, I miss grapes, but I can't find grapes with seeds. Like, you have to go to certain marketplaces to find grapes with seeds these days, because all of our food is basically GMO that's in the marketplace now. It's like so hard to find grapes and watermelon, and
it's pretty much impossible to find a grape with the seed.
Yeah,
it's almost impossible. But you have to think about it. Everything is produced from a seed. Okay, every living thing is produced from a seed. So if you are eating a fruit, well, we're dealing with fruit. If you're eating a fruit that does not have a seed, it was not bred naturally.
Period.
So it is not a natural living thing. You want to have a natural living thing in your body to feed you and give you the same life that the Creator has given us. Mm-hmm. You want it living and breathing. And, people don't believe that everything is living and breathing the way that we as humans do. But if you watch a video of a plant when it's growing and evolving,
it's moving.
Yes.
Do you also know that, so the same way, they have done several experiments, even children do them in school, where if you speak to a plant, that's why I'm going back to affirmation. So it's not just one thing with you eating right, it's also about what you're speaking into your life. Because even if you do your own experiment at home, say you have 2 plants, 2 flowers, and you speak to one daily and you give it positive affirmations and you tell it, oh, you're so beautiful and you are, you are light in this darkness, and you speak positivity over the plant, versus a plant that, say, you never say anything to it at all. You don't even have to say anything negative, but you just never speak to it at all. You will see the growth in those plants differently. So that's the same with your human body. You grow differently when you're speaking positive affirmations over yourself.
Right, and both of us working with children in the school system. There are so many children, and I usually draw to the children that are usually considered the problem children. Mm-hmm. And they are the children that at the end of the week or the period of time down there, they're looking for Miss D, because you have to take a moment and you have to speak something into them. I had these two young men. Oh, they talk all the time. They just, yap, 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 and balling up paper and throwing it to the room and everything. So I said, come here, I need to talk to you guys. I said, I want you to look at life like this. I said, do you like sports? I said, yeah. I said, so what if, I said, because I know that you are great. And I know that you're going to be something great. And I want you to be better than me. I said, so you go to college and you get a $50,000 scholarship. And you have all of this going on in this classroom around you. I said, in college, the professor is not there to put you on a level 1 or to take deductions to give you incentives. He has a job or she has a job that she gets paid for, and you're paying to be there. You're going to get it or you're not. But you're there on this basketball scholarship. And you decide that you want to be a part of everything that's going on around you in the classroom and not focus on your studies. Now your grades drop, your GPA drops, you lose your scholarship, you get put out of college, your dream is gone. Now I have no one to look up to anymore. I said, your dreams just went down the toilet. And you're supposed to be great, and I'm supposed to look up to you. So now what do we do? I need you to block out everything that's here, because at the end of the day, it's your scholarship that you're going to lose. They come in every day now and say, Miss D, $50,000. I said, $50,000. Yeah. And I have no issues with them now. Because what's happening with, and not to down the other teachers, but when you're dealing with those children that are constantly disruptive.
Which are usually the smartest children in class.
You just, at a point, you're like, they're disruptive. And that's pretty much, you come in, you're aggravated, you're expecting it, and you're just constantly calling their name, or you're putting them out the room, or you're giving them deductions instead of incentives, and they've gotten kind of used to that, and being able to speak things over them and to them that they can look forward to is what builds them.
Gives them their power.
Right. And so as adults, we have so many memes and everything on social media, and it's great. And you see them and you may put them in your saves, but how long does it stick? One of the things that my sister-in-law, and I love her dearly, and me and my ex-husband have been separated for years, but my in-laws, they will always be family. But one of the things that she had did probably 25 years ago, she had started doing, and something that I do now. In all her cabinets in her kitchen, she had wrote different affirmations. So she's seen them every day. So then in later years, what I had started doing with my children is we would have an affirmation a week that I would put on the refrigerator. So every time they went in the refrigerator, they had to see the affirmation. So now that it's just me home, what I do is, and it's easy to clean off, it's not a big deal. There's two things I do. You see those decals in the dollar store that you can put on the walls and everything. I put those on my mirror, my bathroom mirrors. Yeah. And I also take a Sharpie and I write different affirmations on my mirror. I take lipstick or Sharpie or whatever and write stuff on my mirror, because you go in your mirror every day. So you see it every day. Every morning. Because after, whenever you brush your teeth, whatever you do first in the morning, if you write it on your mirror, you're going to see that affirmation. So you're going to see it in your head, or you may speak it out loud because you see it there. So it's a reminder. You can clean it off and change your affirmation every week. You can. And going back to, I want to piggyback off of what you said about the children that are in schools that are usually the problem child, and how you have to speak affirmations into them. You have to speak positive thoughts and healing in their spirit. It also goes back to big pharma, because usually, and not to always blame things on the corporations, but if we're looking at the research, we know that certain vaccinations harm certain people. So, for example, there's research that supports the fact that MMR shot hinders Black boys. And then me working with Black children,
I noticed that in my class, generally the people who are having these issues, and the children I work with are so young, they're still so very young that they can't yet be diagnosed. So they're under the ages of, I think you can't be diagnosed until like 5 or something, but they're under those ages. So these are children that haven't been diagnosed yet, but you will see that if you speak to these children in certain ways and you tell them, these children who you think have autism or have, behavior problems, that maybe it can come from, big pharma and corporations. The problem starts there, so then it can kind of follow them throughout life. These problems, because then kids end up on certain medications, and then they end up, in certain groups and categories as the problem child, versus if you just speak positivity into their life, or if you would have left that MMR shot out of their life, then chances are, you never know, but chances are that they probably, would not have to be labeled as the problem child. So it starts holistic. The holistic lifestyle starts from the moment you are the seed. So even how your mom is taking care of you when you're inside of the womb, how she takes care of herself before you are even conceived.
Yes, that is a big thing. And that I hope that when everyone goes back to rewatch this, women, men, I know that you pride yourself on being the seed, you lay that sperm, but the only thing you do is give gender. That's the only thing you do. Women, from the time you are in your mother's womb, you are carrying your seed. So your mother is actually carrying her grandchild. So what you think, the energies, the vibration, what you think, what you eat, how you react, the things that you do, you are already feeding that energy. You're already feeding that to the next generation that comes after you.
That's why they say some curses are generational.
Right. That's where you get generational curses, because the grandmother is carrying her grandchild as she carries her child, because especially if it's a daughter, because that egg is already there. The eggs are already there. Sperm is only giving gender, but the egg is there. So you're carrying everything that child, those vibrations, this negative energy, negative vibrations, you are sending that to that child. That's why when you have generations of children, I have a 3-year-old granddaughter. That girl is IG, Facebook crazy. I mean, she was born to be in front of a camera. It comes natural for her. And the reason it comes natural is because her mother was on the front phase of social media. This is things that, yes, they are actually learning this. It's coming to them naturally. That's why they say, God, these children are so much smarter and quicker than we were, because that seed was already